We have a major Sheamus WWE contract update. Plus, Randy Orton is to compete on NXT and a legendary WWE show is returning. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Fella flavoured frolickings as we have an update on the status contractually of Sheamus this morning.
We do. This comes from Fightful, who report that Sheamus has re-signed with WWE, sources confirmed to Fightful. Originally, his contract was set to be up earlier this year, but was extended due to injury time. It's a multi-year deal in length. We'll have more details in the coming days.
Sheamus has kind of gone a little bit back and forth about a WWE re-signing. It's been reported over the last few months. We weren't quite entirely locked in on what Sheamus was going to be doing next, but this completely seals the deal that he is WWE for a good long while yet. The news was announced on Pat McAfee's show, and Sheamus commented on the new deal on Twitter saying, "Pints are on me."
Wait, yeah, as you mentioned, there were rumblings, weren't there, that he might look elsewhere or he might do that, but it felt like those rumblings always had the caveat he might just be trying to get a nicer contract for himself.
Yeah, but having said that, F's in the chat for everybody who wanted to see Sheamus compete in the G1. I think that was something that I saw coming up quite a few times on Twitter, and I went, actually, Sheamus doing like New Japan Strong Style.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's kind of made for that sort of thing, especially his more modern style. But no, it's great to see him back in WWE. I hope, and I know it's all made up and it doesn't even matter, but I hope that Sheamus can win that elusive IC title.
There's such a lovely story there that when they're ready to action it, they should absolutely do, which is the story of Sheamus winning the Intercontinental title. Does he beat Bron Breakker?
Oh,
because I know there'll be some that would kick back against that. Obviously, Sheamus is a legend and he's earned that status to be IC champion, but at the same time, Bron is on such a hot streak right now.
I think if he did beat Bron, he could maybe give him the win back because he's won the belt already.
That's it. He wouldn't necessarily have to have it forever. He can win the belt. Fella, I'm IC champ. 24 hours later, Bron beats him again.
Fella, you've speared me.
Oh, fella, this is not a fellery thing to do. His famous catchphrase.
Yes.
Obviously, we will tell you more about Sheamus' deal when we know more at cultaholic.com. NXT last night, and we are really in that last bit of packing away for their new trip, their new adventure on the CW. And
yes.
It feels very much like we're wrapping up this particular era of NXT.
It really does. We've got, we had last night's show, then we've got next week's show, and then I believe the one after that is Chicago, the CW debut, and then the one after that is St. Louis, Missouri, featuring, of course, the Chicago one featuring CM Punk, the St. Louis one featuring Randy Orton. But there's been some updates, Tom. Randy Orton's not just going to appear on that one in Missouri, he's going to compete on it as well. Last night on NXT, Javon Evans asked NXT General Manager Ava for a match at the St. Louis, Missouri show, and after he won his tag match later on in the night, Randy Orton took to X and said, "Hey Javon, want to know who your opponent is? See you in St. Louis on October 8th. Kid."
Oh,
wow.
Now, this is an interesting development. I would not have put Randy Orton and Javon Evans together as a match, but I think they're going to have some fun.
Yeah, it wouldn't have instantly sprung to mind, but will Javon Evans spring into an RKO in some inventive way? Yes, he almost certainly will.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see like a springboard tilt-a-whirl 820 spinny drop turned into an RKO.
Yeah.
And Orton go like, done.
The only problem is that now that everyone will expect that, especially once they hype the match a little bit and they go, he's really bouncy and he does this move, people are going to be thinking, or they're going to have a high bar to try and reach, maybe.
Yeah, they really, really are. I think they're going to have a great time as well. Great shout to put Randy Orton in there against a younger talent as well. I don't see Javon Evans beating Randy Orton.
No.
But I see Javon Evans really putting Randy Orton through his paces.
Yeah, and I think that it shows WWE's faith in Javon Evans at such a young age. Put him in with such a veteran and a legend in that legend's hometown. It's a ringing endorsement.
A SmackDown team will also be competing in St. Louis. Last night, Fraxium, Nathan Fraser and Axiom, accepted the challenge from socials from A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They're getting a fight for the tag titles when NXT comes to St. Louis.
They certainly are. The challenge was made by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory before NXT yesterday and was later accepted by Nathan Fraser and Axiom. Ahead of that match, though, on next week's show, we'll also have an NXT edition of the Grayson Waller Effect, which I assume will see tensions mount between the two teams.
They will build the pressure between both sides. They're going to have a banger as well.
Yeah, I don't think that the result is quite as clear as maybe Randy Orton versus Javon Evans. We're being very arrogant here. Javon Evans could batter Randy Orton.
Can you imagine? That'd be amazing.
He's so much younger. But no, this match seems a little bit more in the balance. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on the champions to retain, just because they've been on such a good run recently, and they are the home brand NXT boys, and everyone's waiting for that matchup that everyone seems to want with the Motor City Machine Guns whenever they debut. So everyone's waiting for that.
Could be that.
It could be after every Fraxion match. I wait after the bell and I'm like, where's the Machine Guns? But they're not here yet. They're holding off. And I think it'll be very exciting when they do appear.
CM Punk appeared on NXT last night, and he set some things in place for NXT CW debut in Chicago.
He absolutely did. First of all, he was interrupted by the audacious Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion, leading to a showdown between Perez and Julia, her upcoming opponent for the belt. And in that showdown, Punk stopped Perez from sneak attacking her challenger, even though Punk has been outside of kayfabe, I suppose. He's been seen with Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Oh, these are my friends. These are my young, cool friends in NXT. Especially Cora Jade. She's got that history with CM Punk. But he's been pictured with Roxanne Perez before. And then I think Drew McIntyre tweeted something in response to this, saying like, yeah, well done, Roxanne. None of this, ooh, she's my wrestling daughter crap or something like that. I think I saw that on Reddit, unless it was like a fake one, but it seems like something Drew would do. And then later on in the night, Punk appeared again, Tom.
Yes, Ethan Page and Trick Williams were approached by CM Punk, who said that their title match on NXT's premiere on the CW in Chicago needs something special. That's right, a special guest timekeeper. Punk's going to be ringing the bell.
No.
He's ringing the bell.
No,
he's not. He's the guest referee.
He's the guest referee for Trick versus Ethan Page. And I think if it wasn't already quite clear that Trick was going to get a big babyface win and win the title back on the first show of this new network thing, the special guest referee is from Chicago and is one of the most popular wrestlers ever. Ethan Page is in a lot of trouble, Tom.
Ethan Page is in a lot of bother, and he knew that. There was a lovely shot as Punk's music hit. Ethan Page, like he has seen a ghost, appeared on NXT. That was very, very funny. But that is how the next couple of weeks of NXT is shaping up. A massive few weeks ahead. They're doing a CW press conference on next week's NXT, in which they're kind of, I guess, going to just lay out what's going to be happening. Probably put a few more matches in place for Chicago and St. Louis. But that'll be next week. But the big news when it comes to WWE on television was last night the official announcement of the return of a legendary WWE show.
Yes, this was revealed exclusively by Variety, who reported that Saturday night's main event has set its return premiere date at NBC. The show will air live on NBC and simulcast on Peacock on December 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll emanate from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum on Long Island, New York, the site of the first ever Saturday night's main event back in 1985, and the pre-sale begins on September 19th at 10 a.m. I guess also Eastern time.
So tickets available tomorrow if you want to go to the first Saturday night's main event in a long time.
Do you think it'll have the red, white, and blue robes?
Better do. I mean, the way that the optics are that it will, because the video that the trailer they put out for it, classic 80s music. And it just had a nice old Saturday night's main event vibe to it. Yeah, all the optics say that they're going to really make this feel like the classic Saturday night's main event.
I would love for that to happen, especially because, do you remember how much fun it was in the early days of the relaunched NWA when they had the old sets and everything?
Yeah.
Now, I don't think with WWE's slick production and everything that they'll go quite as far retro as that, but I'd like to see some old school stuff, some old school maybe angles and storylines and that sort of thing.
It'd be good to see that, because Saturday night's main event was always this little special appearance on the TV calendar that gave you not always necessarily like full-on pay-per-view matches, but gave you some big grudge matches that went down and stuff. I remember, but then when they brought it back in 2006, they had a similar energy to it, because I remember that Saturday night's main event from 2006, and the opening match was the WrestleMania Battle of the WrestleMania main events. It was the Raw main event, Triple H and John Cena teaming up against the SmackDown main event, Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio. In a handicap match. It was a brilliant match.
And it had the feeling, I suppose, I don't remember too too young, unfortunately, to remember the original run. But when they brought it back, it did have that feeling that like, oh, something might happen here that's a little bit special, or a bit different from what we'd normally see on Raw or SmackDown. So hopefully they keep that energy as well.
Hopefully they keep that energy. Are you twitching tonight with that energy?
I am twitching with that energy. Myself and Owen will be on Twitch at 6 p.m. UK time, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. We were in first in the league last time, and then by the end of the stream, we were in third. So Owen came in before to set us up for this video and said, "You looking forward to the stream tonight?" And I went, no.
Oh, no.
And he said, "Why not?" And I said, "Because I think we're going to throw it away." I'm really worried. Join us and find out what happened.
Will the Birmingham Swans get that bread on the pond, or will they get their necks snapped metaphorically?
Very good.
Thank you very much. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe and fly,
Fly, swans, fly.
fly.
Oh.